The sun hung low in the sky as Samyatin clutched his torn, bloodied shirt. Rough hands pinned him in place, and sharp voices accused him of slaughtering cows. He pleaded no, shaking his head. But his words were met with violence. A hand yanked his beard, a slap stung his face, and a punch to his stomach left him gasping. Nearby, his friend Qasim lay motionless, a victim of the same fury. The June 18, 2018, lynching in Hapur left Samyatin critically injured and Qasim dead, their only crime being their identity in an increasingly hostile climate. In March 2019, Anwar Ali was allegedly killed by a Hindu mob when he tried to prevent them from destroying an Islamic religious structure near his house in Sonbhadra district. He used to carry a thin towel on his shoulder. They stuffed that in his mouth as they killed him, said Kamran Ali, his wife, wiping away her tears. These heart-wrenching incidents exemplifies the escalating violence and discrimination faced by Muslims in India. Despite being home to nearly 200 million Muslims, one of the world's largest Muslim populations, India has seen a sharp rise in systemic persecution, social exclusion, and targeted violence against this community, particularly under the current administration led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party. The violence against Muslims in India has deep historical roots, dating back to the Islamic conquest of India in the late 12th century. Hindu resentment toward Muslim rulers, particularly during the Mughal Empire, created enduring communal tensions. British colonial rule 1857 to 1947 further exacerbated these divisions through a divide-and-rule strategy, manipulating religious discord to maintain control. The partition of 1947 marked a turning point, triggering widespread violence and mass migrations. The hastily drawn borders created a Hindu-majority India and a Muslim-majority Pakistan, resulting in bloody riots, mass murders, and communal violence, leaving scars that continue to influence Hindu-Muslim relations. Indian Muslims, who saw their demographic share drop from 25% to about 10%, were stigmatized as anti-national or traitorous. This perception has been weaponized by Hindu nationalist groups to marginalize Muslims further. Post-partition, unresolved issues such as the territorial dispute over Kashmir, a Muslim-majority region claimed by both India and Pakistan, fueled further animosity. The historical grievances have been exploited by Hindu nationalist groups to portray Indian Muslims as a fifth column, aligned with Pakistan and inherently disloyal to the Hindu-majority state. This sentiment has been further amplified politically, particularly by the BJP and its parent organization, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh (RSS), which promotes Hindutva, an ideology advocating Hindu supremacy. Hindutva, the ideology of Hindu nationalism, asserts that Hindus are the true sons of Indian soil, as their holy lands lie within India. This belief fosters a sense of exclusivity and superiority, leading to discrimination against minorities perceived as outsiders. Political rhetoric amplifies this narrative, portraying Muslims as cow slaughterers, Bangladeshi intruders, and Pakistani spies. The Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh (RSS), founded in 1925, is the ideological parent of the BJP and a proponent of Hindutva. This ideology has been used to justify systemic discrimination, such as headscarf bans, housing segregation, and employment barriers. Studies show that many Hindus view their religious identity as inseparable from Indian national identity, further entrenching divisions. Hindu nationalists frequently cite India as historical subjugation by Muslim rulers as justification for their ideology and actions. Scholars argue that anti-Muslim rhetoric and violence are strategically leveraged by Hindu nationalist parties like the BJP and its parent organization, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. This divisive rhetoric has yielded political dividends for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Incidents such as the Gujarat riots of 2002, the Bhagalpur violence in 1989, and the Hashimpura massacre in 1987 highlight how such conflicts are exploited to deepen communal divisions and galvanize electoral support. For instance, BJP's electoral victory in Gujarat followed horrific violence that left hundreds of Muslims dead. The demolition of Islamic structures has become a troubling trend, symbolizing cultural erasure. The 1992 demolition of the Babri Mosque ignited widespread violence and set a precedent for targeting mosques under the pretext of reclaiming Hindu heritage. More recently, in Haldwani, Uttarakhand, a mosque and madrasa were demolished under dubious claims of illegal encroachment. In Delhi, a centuries-old madrasa, a mosque, and a Sufi shrine were razed without proper legal orders. In Assam, madrasas have been demolished under accusations of links to terrorism, further fueling resentment within the Muslim community. The international community has expressed growing concern over the treatment of Muslims in India. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom (USCIRF) classified India as a country of particular concern. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC) condemned India for rising Islamophobia and violence against Muslims. A 2022 panel of independent international experts reported evidence of arbitrary detentions, extrajudicial killings, and incitement to genocide. Despite these condemnations, the Indian government has largely evaded accountability, retaliating against critics by targeting media outlets and human rights organizations. The escalating persecution of Muslims in India demands urgent international intervention. The United Nations must launch an independent investigation into human rights violations, while Islamic countries under the OIC should consider diplomatic measures to pressure India to uphold religious freedoms. India's secular foundations are under threat, and without coordinated global action, the systematic marginalization of Muslims will deepen communal divisions and jeopardize millions of lives. It is time for the world to act decisively to protect the rights and dignity of India's Muslim population.